here we go. Tick, tick, tock. Boom, boom, boom. And welcome to the Barrel Buddies. I'm James.
And I'm BJ. Welcome back to your weekly whiskey, wine, barrel-aged bourbon, all things that come in a barrel with some barrel staves podcast.
Sam just pointing at the sign, that's all.
Oh yeah, the Barrel Buddies.
We're without Zach. Zach, I hope you're doing all right up in the
Great White North.
The Yukon.
These are the Great White North.
The Great White North. Jack London up there catching, no, is he?
He's going, mush! He's like whipping some dogs.
Dude, I don't know if it was that Armagnac, but it is like, it made me hot.
It's the Armagnac.
Physically hot. Friends, we just had a 40-year-old Armagnac, and I'm like, I feel like 100 degrees here, like I'm boiling.
Okay, I gotta be honest. I don't know that I can drink more than one of those.
No, it's a rich boy.
Hefty. It's so rich. That's like when you know, growing up as a kid, and dessert would come.
Yeah.
My Nana was my grandma, but my Nana would say, "Oh, it's so rich, you can't have any of this." And I'd be like, "No, I'm gonna eat that," and then I'd eat it, and I'd get really sick.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I'm like, "What's rich?" And now I know it's this thing that makes you really sick and full, and this Armagnac is really sick and full. It's good, but it is like heavy. Oh my god!
Metal.
So heavy.
How's it going, Metal? Welcome to the show, dude. So tonight we have for you, we have an oldie but a goodie, supposedly. I don't know because I've never had this before. I'm gonna fully admit, I have not had what we are going to drink tonight.
Well,
Shelly, great to see you.
Welcome back, Shelly. Wait, Shelly, I got a question for you.
Oh, Shelly,
I got
a question.
I have a question for Shelly. I believe. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. Listen, this is my fault.
Okay.
I'm so bad at saving telephone numbers. Ask Mrs. Askins and she will tell you. I save no one's telephone numbers because I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I got it on my cell phone.
Okay.
And I got a text message from a friend who sent me some really cool pictures of some really cool decanters. Jim Beam.
Some amazing Jim Beam.
Some old Ironsides from Stitzel Weller from back in the day. Some W.C. Fields. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I think they came from Safi. I think.
Can you at least give them the area code?
507? Is 507 sound right?
Okay, that's it. We're going to leave it
That's where I'm going to leave it.
Sub 1K. How you doing, Sub 1K? It's been a while. I hope you're doing all right, man.
Bobby.
We got to hang out. I miss Bobby. We got to plan something soon.
I think we will. Yeah, so I was just in St. Louis last week.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
Tell us about your old Ezra. You said you saw it all over the place.
Oh my god, this is like the bourbon of choice in St. Louis, Missouri. This was advertised everywhere. There were billboards everywhere. This was like the standard on every bar. Mm-hmm. There was Old Ezra 99. There was Old Ezra Rye. I didn't see any Old Ezra 7. Mm-hmm. But Old Ezra was the popular brand in St. Louis.
So Luxco is the company.
It's coming out of Bardstown, right?
Coming out of Bardstown. It's a 7-year product. It's kind of your typical mash bill of 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye.
So this particular bottle, it's very pretty. It's really dark. It's coming in with this beautiful black and gold label, charcoal mellowed, which is more of a Tennessee whiskey thing. But this is coming out of Kentucky once again. Barrel strength at 58.5%, 117 proof. And no stories on this. It just says distilled and aged in Kentucky.
Patrick Curry.
What up, Patrick? Bottled in Lux Row Distilleries in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Lux Row also produces Yellowstone, Rebel Yell, and Blood Oath. I know Blood Oath, a lot of taters in their Blood Oath bottles out there with the,
Hey, how much dust is on your Blood Oath there, Patrick?
So some people are claiming, so Lux Row is a non-distilling producer, so they're an NDP, and they have said to have sourced their bourbon from Heaven Hill, but that's not confirmed.
Well, that's good for us because we love Heaven Hill. What's one of our number one favorite Heaven Hill products? This should be easy.
What's yours?
Evan Williams.
Oh yeah, of course. We love some Evan Williams guys. Evan Williams, the black, what is it, single barrel?
No, just the regular
No,
old.
the regular old Evan Williams,
Williams.
is probably one of the best values and tastes.
100% amazing.
Uncle Punky!
Hey, what up, Punky?
Sub 1 case has come to Stakeout Friday.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen,
We
Bobby.
get to go see good old Tom and
Yeah,
good
we
old
got
Bobby.
some birthdays to celebrate.
I think
We'll
we could see some people.
We'll see.
So yeah, this is the old E7.
Yep.
Ezra Brooks, pretty standard. I mean, in the bourbon community, Ezra Brooks has a name, and I think it's pretty recognizable, right?
And I'll be honest with you, like I
think
found
so.
this. I found this on the shelf.
Was it Dusty?
It was not. Byron, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome to the show, Byron.
He's a Greg fan, and he said, "What up, boys?" So
up?
welcome. I haven't seen you before, so if you're new, welcome to the show. So here's the thing. So this is fairly readily available. That's the first thing I want to say. So I got this at one of our local liquor stores, and I think I paid $40 bucks
For a barrel strength?
for a basically a barrel strength 7-year.
That's what this is. This is a barrel strength 7-year bourbon.
And let me rant just a little bit, because here's kind of my thing lately. There has been so many non-producing distilleries that are selling product that is NAS, a no age statement. Potentially six
really
to
throwing
9
out the jargon here today.
potentially 6 to 9 months old, potentially 6 months to 2 or 3 years old, for over $100, and it's driving me nuts.
I'm going to correct you.
It is driving me.
There's 4 to 6 year that's selling for over $200.
Guys, you got to pull this back. Don't let these companies offer these prices.
Speak with your wallet.
Speak with your wallet. That's the best advice I can tell you guys right now. Like, I'm dead serious. Don't follow the FOMO. Don't catch FOMO. The fear of missing out. We're always going to make bourbon. Think of it as a food. It's always going to be made.
It's an American staple.
It's an American staple, for crying out loud. Like, we're always going to be able to get it. And it drives me up a wall when I see stuff sold out that just has hype and FOMO, no age statement, over $100 a bottle. Because here's what these companies do. They make that the standard. And what does that do? Prices across the board go up. So what does that mean? We lose out on our Evan Williams $20 bottles.
Yeah.
We lose out on our Wild Turkey bottles that are $30, $40. Rare breed.
I mean, Wild Turkey 101 is still sitting around 20
Sure.
bucks. And I drank a lot of that last week too. Loving that.
Yep.
Well, that's a good
Clan.
rant. That's a good rant. Hey,
Buckwheat,
man,
welcome.
welcome back. Buckwheat, welcome. It's good to see so many of you back in the saddle here with us.
Yeah.
I'm going to just jump into the nose here. If you haven't,
War
heard
Clan,
this-
you got to check out show last week. Or a week before we talked
2 weeks
Harrison
ago.
Brothers 2 weeks ago.
we did get into some text.
We kind of took a big dump on it just because it was way overpriced, but it was solid for what it was.
We revisited the Balmora.
Yeah,
Balmora.
Garrison Brothers, Balmora.
We don't know exactly how to say it, but we did. It was show number 1 or show number 0 for us.
Yeah, we revisited it from 100 shows ago. So
Ooh, that one gave me a little bit of an ethanol punch. I find this
Okay.
nose to be really. I've been nosing it.
I mean, kind of bourbon, right? It's bourbon.
I think this is buttery.
Brown sugar,
I'm
buttery.
getting a lot of brown sugar in it. It's like when you put brown sugar and butter in a hot pan.
Yeah.
And you start getting that going to like add some apples or some stone fruit or something that you want to start cooking up. Maybe some nuts. You want to candy some walnuts or some almonds or something.
Yeah.
Maybe there is some almond in there.
I think there is. I think
little
you're
almond,
definitely
I think,
getting some,
you know, or walnut
is
even.
Would that be like marzipan? Is that a little like?
Well, yeah, almond candy, right?
Yeah, like an almond candy. Let's jump in. But anyways, I just get it's like
Really
a
nice,
decent.
but listen,
nice
that's 58.5%.
Whoa.
That's there. It's very present. The
Very
ethanol is
pronounced.
big. It's big there.
A
You
little bit of
definitely
spice. Get the oak spice in the back end.
you got to open your mouth. Listen, putting your nose in there and just taking a nose, you're gonna get blasted out. You got to breathe in through your mouth a little bit, otherwise that ethanol is gonna just overtake you.
Here's what I want to say already, though. Off the nose alone for $40, I'm impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this is really impressive.
Think about
Excuse me.
think about comparable stuff that we've had here that's been way more, where the nose has been like.
Maybe even a peanut
Not
brittle.
pleasant.
There's like a
Oh.
brittle. There's like a little bit of a brittle finish to that, like a peanut brittle or like a nut brittle.
Call.
I think that's again just playing into that that butter, that brown sugar. I mean, those are the elements for a good candied brittle.
Man, yeah. And here's the thing, guys. Like, you got to remember, your palate.
I like it.
You have to train your palate. You're not going to know what a lot of these things are until you're told what they are. So the second BJ mentioned peanut brittle, boom, it hit me. You just know. You're like, yep.
And you're like, it's there.
That's it.
It's super
That's
present, very pronounced.
Then you're going to remember that peanut brittle for next time.
And then I'm going to throw another one at you.
Do it.
It's got some leather, like some baseball glove leather. Not saddle leather, but that baseball glove treated, the little treated leather, a little oil.
And I get like a smidge of cherry.
Yeah, I'd give you a little fruit. I'd give you a little fruit on that. It's nice. Let's jump into that, huh?
Jump in.
Hey, cheers.
Cheers, friends. Let us know what you're drinking in the
Glad to have
chat.
you back.
If you're joining us for a beverage tonight, so we always like to hear what you guys are drinking. Whoa. Good call on that peanut brittle, man. That almost makes me think that it's a Tennessee product. Right?
Ooh, sorry, I really had to chew on that.
I'm going to eat too as well.
Really, oh wow. Really peanut brittle. Peanutty. It's that first feeling. I'm learning to really get into the chew to like get that ethanol out of the way. Peanutty, I think it's the charcoal mellow. Because I even said it's charcoal mellowed, which is a lot like a Tennessee whiskey product.
Yes, but it's hard to get through that heat, let's be honest.
Oh, it's hot. Yeah, it's hot. I don't feel it in the chest yet, but it was hot here in the mouth. Like, shock to the palate, big time.
Hey, Delano, is that how you pronounce it, dude? I think so. It says scorched butter and sugar.
A little
bit of that. Brown sugar, if you want to kind of call it that, right?
Even brown butter, it's been sitting in the pan. It's been really, going through that Maillard.
Yeah. So
first impressions, I like it.
I like it, but you got to work through some heat. Let's throw that out there.
Well, again, barrel strength, right? This is a barrel strength. We should have known that getting into it.
50.5%.
I'm ready to go back. It's sticking around. I mean, it's not messing around. It's sticking around.
And a good like dark copper penny hue, like a great color.
Oh, it's darker than a penny. It's like an old penny.
Yeah, really dark copper. Like very good color here. Ooh, I get some oak now on that second. And as you guys know, we do the 3-sip rule, right? So the first sip is usually the shock to your palate. So you're going to have to like ease into it, right? That second sip is you start getting used to some of those flavors, the heat subsides, and by that third sip, that's really where you're going to be able to evaluate what you just had, and your palate's used to it. You're going to get more flavors, more complexity, coating your mouth, that mouth feel. All that's going to come to the forefront.
I like the mouth feel on that second sip. It's really full bodied, very robust. A little roastiness is starting to come through.
I get that as an oak, man. It's kind of like the spicy oak that you know me, I'm not a huge oak guy.
I don't get the spicy oak. I'm definitely getting like the toastiness of like whatever their toasted barrel was, whatever their barrel char was, probably closer to a 3. They don't talk about it being a 4. So it's probably going to be more of a 3, especially based on the color. It also sat for 7 years, so we know barrel Lamaze, right?
Barrel Lamaze.
Coming in and out, and so it's taking on a lot of what we've got going on in the barrel. But I think this is probably a barrel char of a 3.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a lot of that like smoky, toasty, charcoaly, roasty flavor.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. Sometimes it comes off acrid. This, bitter. That's not the case here. I'm ready to go in for a third sip.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm going to get to the chat here. Byron says, so he's born and raised in Wyoming. We love Wyoming. Don't we have some friends up in the neck of the woods? He knows whiskey and bourbons. His family's German. Do we ever dabble in schnapps? No, but we should.
Oh my God! In Germany, the last time I was in Germany, we were at a great tavern. Made some friends. The guys who owned the tavern just start pouring schnapps. Thankfully, my father-in-law, if he's watching it, Chris Conrad, he's the one who knows all about the schnapps, and he knew this trick. He's like, "Oh, do you make some schnapps?" Oh yeah, we make schnapps.
Wait, they make it in the tavern?
They make it. It's just like how we like go after cellos here.
Oh, like cask strength beer in England?
No, like how they make cello. You know how like limoncellos and limoncellos, and like they make the cellos here in the bars.
It's eager to see, bud.
In Germany, they make schnapps, and they will pour it for you behind the bar and be like, "Oh, I made cherry schnapps, and I made some apple schnapps," and they make schnapps. And it's delightful and super fun.
So is it like a sidecar to beer? Because I assume Germany are really just pounding beers, right?
I mean, no, not. We were in the Alsace region, and so that's not really beer region. That's wine region. Wine so this is more. Yeah, I mean, think of it like you've had like peppermint schnapps.
Yeah.
This is a grain alcohol that's highly flavored.
Yep. Okay. So what? So I want to go back to this though. So like, do you go in and just get a schnapps, or is this like a?
It's like an after dinner thing.
Okay.
Or even a before dinner thing. Okay. It's a party thing. That's how I took it.
So like a digestivo or
it's not a digestivo. It's just more of like a, hey, let's have some schnapps.
Okay.
Hey, you want some schnapps to you?
See, I don't know. I've had a lot of peppermint. I've had Ripple, like Rumpelmint, is it, right? Some disgusting stuff. 99 bananas.
Schnapps is just its own thing, man. It's like fruity and delicious.
Okay. That's fair.
Fruity. I love that you bring up the schnapps. We should do a schnapps show.
We should do a schnapps show.
It's not barrel aged.
And Byron, if you have a recommendation of like some really good schnapps, put it in the chat. Please. Hopefully we can go buy it.
That would be great.
Yeah, if you know of something, or if anybody else knows a good schnapps, let us know.
I love some schnapps.
Yeah.
I've had cherry and apple schnapps, the homemade kind. It was very good.
All right, so jumping back in, this is kind of like the third sip.
What do you think on that third?
I get this back end lingering of peanut brittle, and I love that. I think you really hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, a lot of the reviews I was reading, no one mentioned that.
It's like a little roasted peanut with a good buttery toffee, buttery caramel sweetness, and I think it's really well rounded.
It's quick though. So, and what I mean by that, it comes and goes. This doesn't linger too much. I think it's a very good forward flavor. It hits you. It's quick. It's to the point. There's a bit of heat to get through. So it does have some. It needs work, but for the price point, I think you can't beat it.
I think that Old Ezra could be a daily neat drinker. I don't think that this is. I wouldn't mix Old Ezra with like a soda water. I wouldn't mix it with a.
What about cutting it?
I don't know that I'd cut this. We will try it. We will definitely try cutting it.
You'll cut it.
But I wouldn't mix this with like a ginger ale.
Okay.
I might make it with a Coke. So for some of those in the South who love to do this, this is the South thing.
Yeah.
And I actually do like this.
What do you got?
You put salted peanuts in a Coke.
Really?
Yeah. Take a bottle of Coke, put some salted peanuts in it.
Okay.
I know it sounds super random. For those of you that have tried it, you will know that this is a thing. For those of you that have not, definitely give it a try. It is different, but the saltiness into the Coke is great, and then it's cool because as you drink it, when you toss it back, you can like grab some peanuts in your mouth, and there's just something about peanuts and Coke. Peanuts and Coke. No thanks, I have some. I would mix this with Coke because I think that would give that flavor profile, and it's good.
Okay, so here's what I would like it in.
I like it.
I'm gonna be just because I'm digging the flavors in it. And it's got a little bit of heat. I'd like an old fashioned. An old Ezra fashioned.
I don't know. I think that there would be I'm going to argue that to just say I think that there'd be a little bit of. I think the bitters might clash a little bit.
Let's use tobacco bitters.
That could be interesting. I think Angostura would clash with this a lot.
I wouldn't use an Angostura bitters. Just get into the chat. So Byron says schnapps is a winter thing, so that's good to know.
Okay.
And then Sub 1K. First of all, Uncle Punky says put peppermint schnapps in hot chocolate.
Yeah,
Yowzer.
It happens, but you for those of us that have had bad experiences with peppermint schnapps, Sam, I know you're watching because Patrick's watching. I'm looking at you. It's hard to take down peppermint schnapps after that.
Isn't it
no
pretty
matter what.
thick and viscous? Like what I remember, it's pretty sweet.
I just remember it's terrible.
So Sub 1K says, I nearly killed myself snowboarding because of peppermint schnapps.
Of course you did. And that's why we love you.
Delano says, duh, those candies are scorched butter and sugar. Thanks for saying my name correctly. You got it, bud. Hey, Siggles family, welcome to the show.
Hey, long time no see. Yeah.
And then Metal says, good to have on a cold winter day or evening. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would get that. Because, it's easy drinking. The schnapps, you could just keep going. And that's what gets you in trouble.
So, are we talking because here's the thing, I haven't done a lot of schnapps. So is it after dinner drinks or
It's
like a hot toddy?
No, I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's get you going drinks.
Ooh, so this is this is like chugging a MD 2020 in the parking lot before you go to the club.
Only way better. So I'm going to divulge a little bit. You're going to learn a little something about BJ here. So back when I was in college, the best way to get a party started for me was I would buy a little hip flask of root beer schnapps because it was cheap and delicious.
So you're like, glug, 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 glug.
So as much as I've had bad times with root beer schnapps, I'm still really good friends with it. I know I could get down with some root beer schnapps. Again, Sam, I'm looking at you because bad times. But I love root beer schnapps. It's just easy drinking, but man, it gets the party going. It's like flipping a light switch. All of a sudden you go from, cool, we showed up to the party, to, damn, it's been 20 minutes and it feels like we've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, get it going.
So, here's the thing. So I'm going to go back to old Ezra here. So, I'm digging it. I'm not saying it's amazing. I'm not saying it's bad.
I don't think it's a daily drinker, but I think it's definitely something you should have in your bar.
Yep.
I think it's definitely something that if you were like, man, I don't feel like the traditional, the regular, my go-to, my normal go-to. I think that this is a good step out of the norm daily drinker.
$40 to $50, get this.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Put it in the bar. I think it will.
I like it.
Here's the thing. I think it does a few things. It checks the box on, it can be used as a mixer. It checks the box as a sipper. And it checks the box as if you have any bourbon people come over or any whiskey taters, anybody comes over your house. It's a little bit of a flex. They're like, oh, he's got some old Ezra 7. He's got some old E. It's got a respectable name.
We're not talking old English. We're talking
English.
We're talking old Ezra.
But what I'm saying is, I think it holds its own. Is the point of that. And I think it's like a good middle of the road. It gets a big thumbs up from me.
I don't know. I think it's a little better than a middle of the road. And do you notice? Hold on, I'm gonna ask you something about mouthfeel real quick.
Sure.
Because we don't talk a lot about mouthfeel on this show.
It's such a controversial mouthfeel. The people in beer, you tell a brewer mouthfeel and they're going to lose their minds.
Well, if they added more lactose, then it would round things out and it'd be amazing.
Yeah, and then you're going to be in the toilet the rest of the
I don't
evening.
care.
Have a couple of lactose-heavy IPAs.
Listen, the mouthfeel is more important than what I do after I drink it, okay? Do you get the feeling, I'm getting a feeling, and I'm wondering if you get this feeling, of slight carbonation on about the midpoint of your tongue when you drink this?
Huh. So I know what you mean by that.
Like after you drink a Coke or a soda, right?
I think you get a little bit of a tingle,
a little
like
tingle.
an effervescence.
Yeah.
And I think here's what it is. I think you get a little bit of menthol or mint, and I think that's what your brain is kind of saying is carbonation. It's that menthol. I kind of think of like a Newport, right? Like you smoke a Newport, a little bit of menthol. Maybe that's a bad example, but menthol, mint, eucalyptus.
Hey.
Yes. It's in there.
You're going to ATF on this shit.
Get that, you know what I mean? That menthol and mint and eucalyptus.
No, I do. And it's very slight. That's interesting. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I get it more of like you said, like an effervescence, like after you drink a soda.
Sure.
But it definitely could be like a mentholyptus.
Yeah, it's obviously not carbonation.
It's not super pronounced.
I mean, it's been in a barrel for 7 years.
Right, not carved.
It's not carved.
But it's not super pronounced, so it could totally be that.
No, I think it's a subtle menthol, mint, or eucalyptus tinge.
I look forward to coming back to this bottle. This is really good. Let's get into some scores.
Yeah, so guys, as you know, we rate it 0 to 100. We've recently changed off our 3 score.
I don't think we can say it recent anymore. Like we've moved on.
Yeah, we're 0 to 100. But as you know, we rated it off of 3
All
categories.
gas, no brakes.
Nose, taste, value. Bam, bam, bam.
Start us off, Jimmy.
I'll start us off, and I kind of already I'm fishing in between the 80s already, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think this resides in the 80s. I'm going to start with nose.
Okay.
I like the nose. I think it's pleasant with that, again, that kind of brown sugar, a little bit of spicy oak, vanilla caramel, a little bit, you get that spice. it's okay. And then taste really surprised me. I was not expecting.
You wanted to just.
I wanted to take a big, healthy duty all over this entire bottle.
You can't.
I thought it was a hypey FOMO bottle that tastes like garbage. I mean, my Evan Williams. I sound like some 80-year-old man, or I'm like, get me my Evan Williams. But it's like, come on, guys. Like, again, back to my point about stop paying a lot of money. You can get affordable bourbon, and it tastes good. You can get a bar collection. You can get a bourbon whiskey selection going for $1,000 over the course of like 3 or 4 months, and you can get some incredible bottles. Is what I'm saying. You don't have to have one bottle of Pappy. You don't have to go chase that.
Please don't do that.
And drop your whole load, your 1K on the one bottle.
So you can pour everybody like half an ounce and be like, "This is all I can give you."
No, you don't even open it. What are you talking about? It just sits there on the top of the shelf.
Look at what I have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that Pappy. When actually, in all reality, it's an old Rip 10. It's not a Pappy, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, taste, I'm digging. Finish, I'm digging as well. That's kind of with that. And then value, $40 to $50. That's another great. You can't beat that price point, right?
That's a good price. It's a good price.
So I'm going to give it an 85. I think it deserves a solid 85, which I think is a middle of the road. It's not bad. It's not great. It's solid for what it is.
Sure.
I almost kind of regret saying that, but I like to go with my first instinct, just 85. Bam. Beach, what do you got? Nose, taste, value.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with anything you said. I'm just going to add, again on that nose, I'm getting a lot of that butter, almost like a praline. Again, that candied
Man,
nut.
I love you. You throw some of these things you're getting out of there, these elements.
This candied nut. Again, it's going back to that nutty candiness. It's really pronounced. It's like pronounced and vague. I think you could probably go with whatever's on your mind.
Can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
I think this bottle would be a heavy hitter and dangerous in a blind tasting.
Okay.
I think if you put like 5 or 6 comparable bottles together, this could really stand out.
I'm going to finish. When I finish my rating, I'm going to tell you what I'd put this up against, and I would tell you that I think that this would maybe score. I think it'd shock you how this would score against the bottle.
I'll let you finish. Just wanted to chime in with that.
So yeah, I'm going to give the nose on this. I like to set my 100 score on the old score value. I dig the nose. It's nothing like crazy, but listen, we talked a lot about the nose, and the nose is a solid 3 to me. We found a lot of interesting things out of this, and I think we can continue to find a lot of things out of this. I think it's a 3. I think the flavor on this is a little one-sided, a little flat, but it's not bad. It's really good. I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Well, and you got to work through some heat.
Yeah, but it's not bad. I think that heat goes away. I think if you chew, and again, I like the chew. It's been a new thing that I've gotten. If you go back a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the chew, but basically it's holding the spirit in your mouth for at least 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Really shock your palate, shock your senses. It hurts. It's not good. But think about it like original Listerine. It's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just challenging. But I think a 2.5 on the taste. I think again that candied peanut brittle. A little mental lift, just I think the mouthfeel is fun. Listen, at $40 to $50 for a barrel strength, high quality whiskey like this that I would drink daily, honestly. I think that's also going to be pretty significant. That's a 3 to me. You're looking at a 2.5, 3, a 3. That's going to put you in the 85 category, and I'm going to sit around there, 85 out of 100. 85, 86, I think is a really respectable score. I'm going to be looking for this the next time I'm out and about.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. This has changed my mind. I kind of just got it because I just was like, old Ezra, got to get it. We're going to put it on the show.
All right, you ready? You want to hear what I'm ready to put this up against?
Throw it out there.
I'd put this up against a Blue Note, and I think if you put this up in a blind tasting against Blue Note,
the single barrel,
I think you'd be shocked at what you'd pick.
Yeah,
I don't know that you'd pick Blue Note. I think this is a little more rich. I think it's a little more complex. I think that it's got a little more depth than what Blue Note's offering. And we love Blue Note. We do. I'm telling you,
shout out to our friends at Blue Note.
I'd be really, really interested to go head-to-head against a Blue Note with this. especially for the same peanutty, sweet, deep, rich, smoky flavor profiles. I'd be really interested to see what comes out of that as a head-to-head.
It can easily hold its own in a blind tasting, and it's scary because it's a $40 bottle. But I could easily see us putting it up against some $100 bottles.
I'd put this up against, you know what else I'd put this up against? Since they've proofed it down, you couldn't put this up against some of the older Jack Daniel's single barrels. But you could put this up against the Jack Daniel's 47%.
The 47, I was going to say yes!
Yeah, the lower proof, those 47% Jack Daniel's single barrels. I'd put this up against that every day of the week. And again, I'd be really hard-pressed to tell you what's going to come out of that, because I think that this would overtake it. I'm just...
Yes! I love that.
I'm a little shocked to say that, but I'd be interested to see what comes out of that.
I love that because you think about the Jack Daniel's taste profile, you're getting that peanut brittle. A lot of what we got out of the Old Ezra tonight,
Hot take.
You're going to get in that Jack Daniel's, and it's going to be tough.
Hot takes.
That, and then you throw in a Blue Note. You could have thrown a Blue Note.
I think we found our show for next week. I think that next week we should really think about putting Oldie against a 47% JD single barrel against a Blue Note. And I'd be interested to see how that ranking comes out.
Yes, and we're going to have Zach back so he can truly go into it blind. I'm really curious his thoughts on it. We're going to do Old Ez, so the Old Ezra, the Jack 47, which we have all this, and a Blue Note. And I kind of want to throw a fourth in there. If anybody has any fourth recommendations for a test,
three's kind of a magic number, you know.
Three's okay. Four is kind of pushing it. I'm okay with 3. We'll figure it out.
4, you start going, oh yeah, they're all really good, man.
Oh yeah, man, give me some more.
But I think you'd be really surprised at how you rank when you put those 3 head to head. I really do. Well, that's good.
That's kind of the show. I mean, does anybody have any questions in the chat? Everyone's just kind of talking about Old English, so. We're calling this Old E, Old Ezra.
Hey,
here.
Don't forget about King Cobra.
Yo, cool.
Colt 45.
Edward,
Steel Reserve.
Steel Reserve.
What else?
Oh.
Natural Light Ice. Bud Ice. Oh, Bud Ice.
It's got a little bit of heat you got to work through. That's its only downfall.
That's the downfall in the JD and the Blue Note.
That's true. There's just a little bit of heat.
Same caveat.
But here's the thing. Do you how do I say this? Do you sully the flavor because you proof it down? That's the thing. So say you proof it down, you're going to lose some of those flavor elements, right? Or what do you think?
I mean, I don't know. That's a highly contentious discussion
I
topic.
think it is, yeah.
We talk about that, and I think it's highly argued in a lot of forums, and I think if you are following bourbon whiskey, I think that is one of those things that's
it's a fine balance of high proof versus flavor, low proof.
I don't think that it's provable. I think that's the problem,
Blending, what if we blended this?
It's not provable.
Is it blended? Does it say it's a single barrel?
No, this is not. It is barrel strength, but this is a blended whiskey.
Yeah. See, so
this is blended.
I don't know. Who knows? But
just saying. Well, that's the show.
That's the show, friends.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, guys. Thank you. We're going to do a great blind tasting next week. I'm really glad that we have this show all lined up and that everybody can participate next week. And it was good seeing you all. We had a lot of the good
thanks for joining us.
Core crew. So across the board, 85, 85, 86. You want to stick with 85?
I'm going to stick with 85. I think that's solid. It's not often that we match up on scores.
I'm baffled.
It does not happen.
It does not happen.
So you saw it here first. We haven't matched up on scores in a long time.
Yeah. So we'll do that show, and then that's really it. I mean, we're kind of playing it by ear for the summer here. We're kind of low key. It's hot in Vegas. We don't do too much outdoors, so
we're a little tired.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think we've got a wine show. We're going to discuss. There's a wine show coming up with a couple of producers that have reached out to me.
Yeah.
We've got some friends. Hey, Uncle Punky, we're going to be reaching out to.
We will, Brian. More to follow on that.
To our friends over at
Temecula.
No,
Napa?
Lancaster.
Lancaster. What do we have to get from
Who
Uncle
puts out Thistlefinch? We're going to be reaching out to Thistlefinch because we still have the Burley, and we need to get into that with them. We've got a lineup of some stuff that's coming out here in quarter 3.
Well, and now we're on a new platform. We can start doing like some remote shows where we get people to call in and stuff. We can put them on the show. So
that's in fact. What do you guys think? Lighting, sound, everything good?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, please.
Really quick, subscribe, like. I got to give the normal spiel, please. If you guys, I see some of you new followers in the chat. We're live every Wednesday Pacific, 7 p.m. But just like and subscribe us. It costs you guys nothing, but it helps us out a lot. So
absolutely, it does. Don't forget to share us with your friends and check us out over at Instagram
at the Barrel Buds.
At the Barrel Buds, we've got content.
This guy is
all the
always
time.
posting. He's our social guru. So get over there and
I try.
And comment and like and follow.
Sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's groany. And if I did my job right, then it's groany funny.
Sometimes it's groany.
Grony, not brony. Jabroni.
For the Barrel Buddies, I'm James.
And I'm BJ. It's been a ton of